your headlines from the future. Nestle sells off water rights, quietly purchases 20-year rights to North America's atmosphere. Oh, I'm sure they'll sell it back to us in affordable containers. And this coming...
Let's roll, never give them control. They got their money, but we've got our soul.
Welcome, I'm Lee Camp. Now let's take the news from behind. Big news coming from Nestle, creator of the world's most delicious slave chocolate and owner of most of the world's fresh water. We're not really sure how they ended up owning all our water. I think humanity wasn't paying attention one weekend and Nestle swooped in and bought it all up. It might have been the weekend Justin Bieber visited the Anne Frank Museum. I'm not sure. The point is we were preoccupied. And now a bunch of nozzles own all the water. It's kind of the same thing that happened to the Native Americans when the white people arrived. Except in this version, all of us are the Native Americans and Nestle is the white people. Anyway, Nestle announced that they were looking into selling their water brands, which include Pure Life, made from the finest of tap waters, Poland Spring, made from the finest water that's not from a spring, Arrowhead, made from the finest water stolen from the indigenous, and Ice Mountain, which is now only Ice Mound because most of it was trucked away by a mountaintop removal company. In fact, the ice is gone too because of climate change, so Ice Mountain is now Soggy Mound. But that's not a good name for bottled water. In fact, if someone offers you a refreshing Soggy Mound, you should totally turn them down. It's not what you think. But yes, Nestle is looking to sell their waters. And the only reason they're doing that is thanks to tireless activism, protest, lawsuits, and organizing. People fought back against these corporate monsters as if their lives depended on it. And seeing as water is fairly crucial to existence, I guess their lives did depend on it. But now dozens of organizations are demanding that the company return a series of particularly controversial water bottling operations to the public prior to any sale. That's right, these people have the nerve to call on Nestle to give them back the water resources that Nestle rightfully stole. I mean, come on. How could Nestle possibly be held responsible for crimes that they committed years ago when they first signed those deals? Besides, they had an alibi. When that water was stolen, the top Nestle execs were nowhere near the streams and lakes that were the scenes of the crimes. No, they were in Vegas, snorting dark chocolate dust off the nipples of a tweaking Keebler elf the way God intended. Not your God. This is a different God. This is one with a nose piercing and a dildo growing out of its forehead and tickets to the roller derby. You wouldn't understand. The God of the ruling elite is very different than the God of the poor, unwashed masses. Their God has a lot more fun. Besides, Nestle has caused zero harm to the land and water. Just ask Nestle. Yes, the state has always relied solely on Nestle-generated data to claim there has been no harm to local streams and lakes. See? There's the proof. Who better to keep tabs on Nestle than Nestle? Just like if you want to find out how Donald Trump has done dealing with the pandemic, the best person to ask is Donald Trump. But the fight is not over. Perhaps Nestle can still be forced to return the water rights to the people. Well, since
They put a hot wire to my head 'cause of the things I did and said.